2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
This is State of New California. Notice to all Californians, Chapter 2, Grievance 41. We are at Roberts Park in Seaside on February 12, 2021. New California is a new state in development exercising its constitutional right to form from the state of California. The process to form New California is authorized and codified in Article 4, Section 3 and 4 of the United States Constitution. Statement of intent. The citizens of New California have decided to remedy the abuse of power by the government of California by exercising their right to form a new state provided in United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 3 and Section 4. We are determined to live under a state government in the United States of America and under the Constitution of the United States. New California Declaration of Independence of January 15, 2018 states, whenever any form of government becomes destructive, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government. When a long train of abuses and acts to seize and hold the people's power without legal authority and pursuing invariably the same object that clearly demonstrates a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for the future security. Preamble of the New California State Constitution states, we, the representatives of the undersigned counties within the state of California, do acknowledge and humbly invoke the favor of Almighty God for continued civil and religious liberty to ourselves and our posterity. First Amendment of the United States Constitution states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution states, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be seized, searched, and the persons or things to be seized. The counties in New California State brought forward 95 Chapter 1 grievances between January 2018 and November 2019. On April 28, 2020, New California State started issuing 95 additional Chapter 2 grievances to be announced in public. Grievance 41. Declaration of Grievance, Statement of Facts. The people of California are suffering from a tyrannical state government which fails to provide a Republican form of governance, enables and supports across its southern border the invasion of the United States of America by illegal foreign nationals, and protects vicious criminals who commit outrageous acts of violence upon the citizens of America, all caused by a government of and for a monoparty system led by a tyrannical dictator who openly defies federal law. California state government violates the following. United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion, and on application of the legislature or of the executive, when the legislature cannot be convened, against domestic violence. United States Constitution, Article 6. This Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. First Amendment, United States Constitution. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. 14th Amendment, United States Constitution. Section 3. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress, or elected or president and vice president, or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States, or under any state office, or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States, or as a member of any state legislature, or as an executive or judicial officer of any state, to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof, but Congress may, be by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disabilities. Order of the day. Failed state. California State Auditor released her report on the embattled Employment Development Department, EDD, Thursday. New California State has been touting the report for weeks as a document that will define even more than ever that California is a failed economic state. New California State financial forensic auditors, whose backgrounds go back to the late 1980s, have worked with numerous financial and law enforcement agencies around the world to expose financial fraud. Over 2 years ago, New California State auditors suspected massive fraud at the EDD before the audit was even considered by the state. Now we know the money lost through fraud at the EDD could be higher than $15 billion, with earlier reports suggesting right now the number is more like $30 billion and could be as high as $50 billion when all elements of future audits are known. California failed state. Currently, California is sitting with over $100 billion in cash debit. Public education is closed, except in a few districts with cash reserves. Businesses have been destroyed by the thousands and countless lives destroyed. New California has determined that with the additional $15 billion loss, California will not sustain itself for much longer as a state, even with the paltry $8 billion help of the federal Corona bailout. From the report, quote, in September 2020, the Joint Legislative Audit Committee directed my office to conduct an emergency audit of the Employment Development Department's response to effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. In August 2020, we also identified as a high-risk issue the management of federal funding in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, and EDD is one of the state agencies responsible for managing that funding. For these reasons, we performed this audit of EDD's Unemployment Insurance UI program, unquote. Massive fraud at the United States Employment Development Department is growing worse each day. In a report filed by KCRA Sacramento, quote, California EDD audit details failure of ill-prepared unemployment agency. The claim for missing money due to fraud is now at $11 billion. Unprepared, poor planning, and ineffective management. That's how California State Auditor Elaine Howell describes the inner workings of the state's Employment Development Department. The emergency audit, called for by dozens of lawmakers from both sides of the aisle, was approved in September. The audit makes some key points about what is said were poor decisions by Employment Development Department staff. Employment Development Department changed processes in the beginning of 2020 after shutdowns during the pandemic. That was supposed to process and pay claims faster, but those changes are temporary and were also responsible for opening the department up to what we now know is $11 billion in fraud, a number that can rise up to $30 billion. But reports are now starting to surface that the amount may be in excess of $50 billion. Former Fox News anchor Adam Housley, by way of Twitter, says the amount is more like $50 billion. Quote, looks like 90% of unemployment fraud in California went out of state, and the number could reach $50 billion. Unreal, unquote. Adam Housley from Twitter, quote, been reporting on the EDD unemployment fraud in California via Twitter the last few weeks, and some folks have asked me to post it all here. My sources have been well out in front of the mainstream coverage, and my Twitter reports have been cited a ton. The latest. Looks like 90% of the unemployment brought in California went out of the state, and the number could reach $30 billion. Unreal. $50 billion gone, and we won't be able to recapture much, if any of it. That's approaching 1/3 of all funds sent out. The fraud reaches all over the globe. We were sending money everywhere, and nobody was stopping it. A bunch went to Eastern Europe and West Africa. EDD is overwhelmed in good economic times. I have reported the state's computer systems are way outdated. Its computer systems date way back to the early 1990s. We didn't spend our money updating and preparing, and now that is costing us billions. B of A did their due diligence and let EDD know. EDD was overwhelmed. The backlog made everything way worse, and now we are at the same point, again, with a backlog of over 1 million applications. The money lost due to corporation and bad leadership is a mix of state, federal, and CARES Act money, unquote. California is headed for financial collapse in just a few short months. California's failed financial trajectory is set in stone by a dictator governor who has ignored the constitutional structure set forth by the Founding Fathers. Not ignored in New California, the Founding Fathers are alive and well today, living in the hearts and minds of all New Californians. New California State's place in history as the 51st state and the Union is assured. Thank you, Founding Fathers. Insurrection. The government of California, the current socialist governor/dictator and model party system, along with local officials, are following a coordinated design with the intent to actively engage in acts of insurrection against the U.S. Constitution. The Insurrection Act of 1807 and the Emergency Economics Powers Act are United States federal laws that govern the ability of the President of the United States to deploy military troops within the United States to put down lawlessness, insurrection, and rebellion. Acts of succession. The California government, in conjunction with the socialist state executive, instituted wherever the current socialist governor/dictator has usurped power, has actively engaged in acts of succession and have created a reign of terror on United States citizens living in California with the intent to succeed from the United States of America, to thus destroy the very union of states which secures our liberties and freedom. Abdication of authority. Betrayal by the sitting socialist governor/dictator of California, the model party legislature, and local elected officials is evidence of abdication of their responsibilities of authority and sovereignty over the citizens of the United States living in California State. Prayer. The citizens of New California State pray for the military to exercise its authority under continuity of government and the Insurrection Act of 1807 to initiate the military's use of martial law and create the restored government of California as requested by New California State to end the tyranny being foisted upon the United States of California, the United States of America. NewCaliforniaState.com, NCS51.com, or calling 877-828-2753 will get you more information. This concludes these proceedings.